This is the African Revolution on Clevenard TV. My name is Abdrazak Ramadan. We've heard over and over again about the failure of Africa. Every African is complaining that the African continent has failed. No, it has not failed. It is the leadership. In the beginning was freedom. We're crying for freedom desperately. But after the freedom, we're lost in confusion. Confusion of rotational leadership, corrupt leadership. The youth of Ghana, the youth of Nigeria, the youth of Kenya, the youth of Zimbabwe, everybody is crying. You will hear over and over again that we will pick out a leader in Africa and say he is good. But then, when you walk closely, they are still the same. We have a problem of leadership in Africa, and the youth of Africa need to rise up. We need to rise up. We don't have to wait for the replica of the Arab Spring to come into Africa. No, that is not what we are looking for. We need to tell the leaders that the kind of leadership they are giving us is not helping the nation. Right now, we all know very well that the natural resources in Africa is still there in larger quantities, in commercial quantities. But what is happening to the African dream? People are still hungry. People are still not having good water to drink. People still don't have homes to sleep in. Nobody is comfortable in Africa. The leaders of Africa are seeking health care outside the country. What about those who cannot? Me and you. When we fall sick, that means we need to stay home and die out of curable diseases. I used to hail President Mugabe of Zimbabwe until recently, when I understood that he was going outside Zimbabwe to ask for treatment. That was so shameful. So after all, he was not able to put up a hospital that would take care of himself and any other person who needs better health care. Nigeria is a superpower without power. They don't even have electricity. Today, how many Ghanaians can eat a chocolate a day? When we say we are now the largest producers of cocoa with Ivory Coast, nobody, not even a single Ghanaian, have a 25-carat golden chain. But we were termed as Gold Coast. So it has to do about leadership. This is what the colonial master left for us. They came and they distracted us from our traditional rule. And we are so comfortable with what they left for us. They were doing whatever they want with the nations. In my country, Ghana, the northern sector was ignored in the beginning, where education was in the southern sector for over 110 years before it came to the northern sector. What was the plan? Today, I am telling you on authority that Ghanaians are suffering, Nigerians are suffering, Cameroonians are suffering, Kenyans are suffering. They are not suffering because there are no natural resources anymore. They are suffering because of bad leadership. Everybody is crying, and we are so angry about each other. South Africans don't want Nigerians, Ghanaians don't want Nigerians, Nigerians don't want Ghanaians. This is what is happening in Africa because we are all angry. Why is it so? We need a revolution. We need to rise up to our leadership and let them understand that they are not helping the continent. How can an African child feel so safe in the Sahara Desert and in the Mediterranean Sea than in their own home? You need to ask yourself these questions. We have heard it over and over again, organizations coming out to fight for people who are dying in the high seas, but we are yet to hear a single African leader talking about it. Who are you leading? The resources. Oh yes. That is your aim. This government comes to power, after 4 years or 8 years, they leave power. Whatever they were building for the nation, this one comes in and will not continue that because there won't be anything to chop there again. This is what we are witnessing every day. then they tend to call me the future of the nation. How can I be the future of the nation when my hands are tied behind me? It is impossible. What happens to the degrees, the diplomas, the masters, the PhDs? It is not working. What happened to our traditional rulers, who are the original owners of the lands? They have turned them into powerless leaders. They cannot even, they don't have the capacity to even mediate between two people who are fighting over a fowl. The leadership, called the democratic leaders, have taken all the powers from these people. We used to have the opinion leaders. They have destroyed every system that we used to have. Not even the spirit of volunteerism is still alive in Africa. As kids, we used to volunteer to clean up our environment until we realized that the gutters, the drainages in our own environments are gold mines. They will have to award it to you as contract. This is what democracy is doing to Africa. Is this the democracy they brought for us? That is the question. We cannot even put together a national identification system. We cannot even introduce a cashless system. They want to see the cash so they can embezzle it. We have a serious problem, and it has to do with leadership. We need to rise up as youth of Africa. Let's call our member of parliament. Let's bring them closer. We voted them. Let's sit down with them. Let's ask them what they are doing. Let's bring the district chief executives, the municipal chief executives, the metropolitan chief executives. They should tell us how they are leading us. They don't even answer to us because we don't owe them that. That's what they think. Today, people are crying for dams to be dug for them to drink water from, and they will have to beg for it. Leadership. That is the problem of Africa. If you say you don't know, you just pretending not to know. We all know it is leadership, and we need to rise up as Africans and change the situation. What are the leaders waiting for? They are waiting to be millionaires in the next 4 years, over and over again on rotational basis. They tell us they agree when they are together. We should also agree when they are not with us. No, you don't agree when you are together. It's not true. Not even a single political party agree with the other political party. If you really do agree beyond the smiles that you show us on cameras when you are together, then whoever is living power will have to answer, and you will come and continue with whatever they were doing, because it is in the interest of the nation. How can another government come and abandon a school building simply because it was started by another government? How can you abandon a market that was being constructed by another government? It is for the people. How can you come and truncate the construction of roads? This is what is happening in Africa. How possible is that for just one United States dollar as against Zimbabwean currency had to do with not thousands, not millions, not billions, not trillions, but quadrillions, just $1 US. It doesn't make sense. Economy, that is what they call it. Today, when an ordinary African is sick, family will have to put them through the media and ask for the general support of the people. People will have to contribute. There is no system that takes care of citizenry throughout Africa. The rich is becoming richer. The funny part of Africa is that the marginalized are the majority. Yes, the less privileged are the majority. The few political class, they are ruling. They have the monies. They buy the homes in Europe. They send their kids wherever they want to. So if you want to be like them, you have to join them. But then they will have to put you through constant fear in order to obey their ideology. but there will definitely be a periodic sacrifice of members in order to keep other members in constant fear and under control. Then they bring the word loyalty. Africans need to rise up. We as Africans need to rise up. This is just the first episode of African Revolution on Clevenard TV. My name is Ramadan. We will come back with another episode. Thank you so much for watching.